The next talk is going to be of Mohammed Nakhaee. He's a data and AI engineer at Exact, and he's an avid R and ggplot2 user. He has a passion for photography, and he's very active on Tidy Tuesdays and 30-day challenge chat chart. I didn't think I said that right. He's going to give a presentation on RAG systems for his big chart collection. So give it up for Mohammed.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Just before I start, I wanted to ask you a few questions to get to know you. So how many of you have used ggplot2 or plot9 before? OK, a few. OK, so ggplot2? OK, a lot of people. Good. How many of you have saved bookmarks but never looked at them again? Yeah. How many of you have like 200 open tabs? OK, I like that. So yeah, we will get back to that. So you can see the QR code for the slides. I will show it again. I was introduced. I love photography. I will skip it. I love photography and collecting cameras. And for the past few years, I've been exploring my creative side in different ways. And I'm perfectionist. It's an important detail because I like, instead of spending time doing things, I like spending time thinking about how I can improve doing those things. So that's important. You will see in half an hour why. This talk is not about how to make a good chart. I'm going to mention a lot of names. You can just go search them. They have amazing tutorials on how to create a good chart. So this is an important detail. I'm going to talk about visualization as a creative process more than a practical. They are the same, but I want you to think about data visualization as something that you hang in your living room instead of like showing it to your boss. And I'm going to show you a lot of charts in this presentation, and I don't expect you to read them all or understand them all. That's not the point. Just imagine they're just beautiful images, and you can basically look at the links for those presentations. Now going to, so it should have been an animation, but we had some technical problems, so it's a PowerPoint. But that's my creative data visualization journey. So like most of you, I started creating my first chart in Excel. Then I learned Matplotlib. I wasn't really inspired by data visualization. Then I learned Seaborn, which made my visualization a little bit prettier. But then I discovered ggplot2, which fundamentally changed how I look at data visualization. And then I combined it with Illustrator, which boosted my visualization workflow. The next step was to learn D3 and learn how to create interactive visualizations. But in reality, what happened that at work, I had to use Power BI. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of Power BI. So why ggplot2? I can talk about why ggplot2 is why it is good. I think for me, the most important thing that makes it special is the community, both the developers and the users. And that's what makes ggplot2 very special. But if you're a Python user, you're still in luck. So you can use plot9, which has basically the same syntax as ggplot2. And by the way, there is the plot9 challenge contest. The deadline is next week. So if you want to submit your visualizations, don't forget that. There was also a talk on that last PyData, which I attended, and I really, really enjoyed. How I discovered ggplot2 was through the Tidy Tuesday challenge. The Tidy Tuesday challenge is organized by our for data science community, and they publish a dataset every week, and people analyze it and show their visualizations on Twitter or Blue Sky. And there was the 30-day chart challenge, which happens in April. And so basically, it's a monthly challenge. So every day you get a prompt, and based on that prompt, you can create a visualization. It's tool agnostic, but it was organized by our users. And I highly recommend you to actually check it out this year, hopefully. And it was a great source of inspiration for me. I saw a lot of amazing visualizations, and like it changed how I look at data visualization. So I'm just showing you two visualizations from two of my favorite contributors. I can spend the rest of the talk just showing you the visualization I like. And this is my first Tidy Tuesday submission. For this talk, I wasn't sure that if I want to share it with you, because like it's I felt like I would be embarrassed, like it's like a high school photo that you don't want anyone to see it again. But I think looking back, it's not that bad. And I think it's mostly because of ggplot2, rather than like my basically skills. And here are some of my submissions for the 30-day chart challenge. As you can see, my favorite is the one in the middle, which got featured. So basically, what Tidy Tuesday and 30-day chart challenge did for my data visualization creative process was that they changed it completely. And I look at it from a different perspective. So for this one, I made a stacked bar chart inspired by Rothko's paintings. And I even won a Kaggle prize thanks to my data visualization. So my data visualization became like a very important tool in my toolkit for storytelling. So I explained it last year in a Lightning talk, but basically I created this world, fantasy world, where every data science role is a character, and they have skills and strengths and weaknesses. And I made these visualizations, which is basically a game like a skill bar. And recently, I really like Soviet visuals and aesthetics. So I recently started a project where I try to create visualizations inspired by Soviet visuals. So this one is a visualization from 90 years ago. And this is my recreation. So on the left compares the steel production in the Soviet Union and the British Empire. On the right, I changed it. So I compare the USA against China. And I also picked up a new hobby. So I always try to experiment with the way I basically create visualizations or bring it to physical world. So I started a new hobby, which is screen printing. So it's a manual process, but it's really fun. So I'm printing them on T-shirts, or I actually have a T-shirt so underneath. So this one. So why is it important? For me, I mentioned it like 200 times already. So data visualization is a creative process. That means that I don't want to repeat myself. That means that I don't want to just create bar charts or the same chart type every time. I want to go beyond it. I also don't want to just visualize GDP per capita. I'm not the Financial Times. I want to visualize something that personally interests me. And I want to also experiment with different styles and themes. So that's why I'm always searching for new way of creating charts, new data sets, and new styles. In the world of data visualization, it's really common to take inspirations from other people's work, from their data, from their chart type, from their style. So I will show you an example. So for the 30-day chart challenge, there was a prompt on the third day, historical. So, and I love languages. So I found this data set of Dutch loanwords. So basically, it's a data set of words that the Dutch borrowed from other languages. I will give you an example, a sample. So for instance, kas, one of the most popular Dutch words, comes from Latin, casus. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Or Reich, another popular Dutch word, comes from, has Celtic roots. Also, the word for shark has roots from Old Norse. So basically, I have the Dutch word, the source language, and the source word. I wanted to visualize it in a different way. I didn't want to use word cloud because word clouds are like I don't like them. I think they are like my after Power BI probably I have like the most hate for word clouds. So I was searching for something that was like text heavy, but still I could show all the words, and there were like 300 words or something like that. So I was searching, and I found these visualizations from a Tidy Tuesday contribution. And I said, this is what I'm looking for. So I took this chart as my inspiration, and I created this chart. And you can see, again, I don't want to, I probably can't read them, but like we have, like for French, Latin, we have like a basically long tree of words. Or another example, so last year I read an article on Reuters which compared the total number of destroyed buildings in Gaza and compared it to the total number of buildings in Manhattan. So for me, that was like a very interesting project, but I've never been to New York, so I have no, I don't know the scale. So I wanted to make it more tangible for myself. So I said, like, what if I visualize it to basically overlay it on Dutch, basically cities. And the result is on the, you can see it on the right. So my main source of inspirations is Tidy Tuesday, as I mentioned before. It contains 2,000 charts and code. Then there is data wrapper database dispatch, has 6,000. There is flowing data, 9,000 or more. There is Pinterest, I didn't even try. There is LinkedIn, again, didn't try counting them because it's just like beyond my ability to do that. And there is Blue Sky, and I didn't, there are like many, many more. And that was my life. So, and this is not even like half of my open tabs. Like it's like I made it last week, so it's recent. So, and I use different ways. I used to like organize my content. I use Notion, but then and other ways. But then I realized that I'm spending 85% of my time on like basically saving them to Notion, 10% at looking at them, and just 5% like actually creating something. And I couldn't even keep up with the new visualizations. But I saw this code. How many of you have seen this before? So basically, it says that I want to use AI to do my like chores, so I can work on my art. So that, like, for me, I had this epiphany. I said, like, wow, what if I can use AI to actually basically save time so I can create more data visualizations? So instead of like using 85% saving them, I use 85% to create charts. So that was my idea was to, OK, what if I use, instead of like saving and scrolling for what I am looking for, like I can semantically search for visualizations or inspirations. For instance, like I'm looking for other visualizations about house ownership trends, or like I want to show proportions, or like I want to visualize circular bar plots, or I want to see how the diverging legends are implemented. At the time, I was working at on the RAG pipeline in my day job. So like a good engineer, I had a RAG hammer, and every problem became a RAG nail. It's actually demo time. I wish I could actually. You can go to this website and demo it. You see it yourself. Unfortunately, I can't do it here. I don't know. My laptop somehow didn't connect to, couldn't connect to this one. But I have plan B, which I can't use myself. So that's I'll try to find a solution at the end, but like you can use it. So you can. It's a chat interface. It's connected to a vector database, which contains a list of data visualizations from two of my favorite sources, Data Wrapper and ggplot2. There are different modes you can try to retrieve visualizations, and I will give you 2 minutes to try it out, and then I will move forward with the rest of the presentation and more technical. So the default mode for you is hybrid search. So basically what it does is it searches for data visualization based on keyword and vector search. Then there is basically what I call deconstructing tool calling, which basically deconstructs data visualization into different elements and then apply filters and vector search against the vector database. And there is another mode called longer context, which is basically the normal retrieval, but like instead of like fetching 10 or 20, I fetch 300 or in your case 150 visualizations, and then I use a LLM re-ranker to filter out what I'm looking for. Anyone has any problem with it, or like you can use it? It's working? Okay, good. Okay, I will go to the technical detail and implementation. So I told you I had the RAG problem, but in this case, I didn't think about RAG in the beginning. I wanted a retrieval instead of like the whole full RAG. And the way it works is that like you get the code and you get the plot. You somehow embed them, and then you send a query, and then you get a response as a list of charts. So how do you embed data visualizations? So the first solution was to directly embed them using like a CNN or like a visual embedding encoding model. Then the second option was to give the plots to a vision language model. get the plot description, and then use text embeddings on the plot description. And then for the ggplot2 plots, you can directly embed the code, or you can give it to an LLM, get the plot description, and embed the plot description. So the direct embedding, for me, from the beginning, it was obvious that it wouldn't work because it lacks the semantic meaning. And for the using just the plot image or the code, so the plot image, it lacks detail, so basically misses details, and for the code, it literally misses the big picture of what is actually being represented. So I decided to combine them both. I started with ggplot2 code, but for data wrapper visualization, it's just only the image part. And then I used Q1 VL Max model as my vision language model. I basically get a plot description, and then I embed it using the Mistral embedding models. But how do you actually generate a plot description? You need to write a good prompt. You need to somehow tell a VLM that describe this visualization for me in a useful way. That's where grammar of graphics basically came into the picture. I think most of you know about that, right? Raise your hand, please. So I wanted to explain it, but I realized it took me more than I can't explain it in 2 minutes because it took me more than that to learn it myself. So I'm just skip it, but basically it's a theoretical framework to basically deconstruct visualizations into layers. The original grammar of graphics had 7 layers, but ggplot2, which is an implementation of it, has 8 layers. These are the layers. You can find them in the, I'm not going to explain them to you. So I will just briefly go on this, explain this visualization to you. It's not important to understand it, but let's look at the theme. So this visualization has a red background. The title is center aligned. I use the title font Mollet, which is like a Soviet-inspired font. The font color is black. There is no legend. There is no grids. There is no access. And there are other small details. So based on that, I created this prompt. So this is prompt version 1, which I instructed the VLM to basically pour everything into one plot description. So for example, for this plot, this is a screenshot of the, a tiniest part of the result. And this resulted in the first mode that you can see on the website that I shared with you, which is the hybrid and vanilla mode. So basically how it works is that I have the plot description, which I got from those sources, and then I give it to an embedding, and then I query the embedding using I use Chainlit as the front end, and then I get the list of charts. The problem with it is that, for instance, if I want to retrieve, I'm looking for red line charts with red background, it gives me line charts that have red, that are colored red in white background. So, but instead I want this. I want something that has a red background. Why? It's because of the semantic soup problem. So basically, I'm overwhelming the embedding model with a lot, the vector database with a lot of information. They're different. The details are different, but when you put everything together, it becomes like a soup. It's become indistinguishable from the other visualizations. So I came up with the second mode, which is deconstructing visualizations with tool calling. So I said, OK, ideally, I want to use a tool calling model, which is in case is a K2, to deconstruct visualizations into elements, and then I use elements independently of each other to basically retrieve visualization. For instance, first I get the plots that have line charts, and then I filter out those that are not red. So this is so basically I said like I wanted to change my prompt to divide the visualizations into different elements of the visualization, and I wanted to vectorize them, like a grid type, background color, coordinate types, plot goals, plot type, and some other attributes. But I realized that not all plot attributes have they have limited, like you have limited options for them. Like for instance, grid type, you have limited options to implement grid types. So instead of storing them as vectors, you can store them as filters, as text filters. So then I divided the prompt into two parts. So to basically make filterable attributes and free text, which are used to vectorize, basically, which I use them and vectorize them. So, and basically, this is how it looks. So basically, I vectorize some of them. I don't vectorize the other attributes. So this is the last prompt. So it took me quite some time. So it's like it wasn't like really trivial. So and you can see it in the basically in the repository that I shared with you. And so basically, this is how it looks. So basically, I deconstruct the visualization using Kimi K2, and then I send a query to Viviet, and then I still use the plot description to rank the results using a LLM re-ranker, and then I retrieve a list of charts. The last mode is using longer context. So I saw this talk. It's RAG is dead. It's like a clickbait, but and I attended the talk yesterday, and that's not the case. But I said, what if I just like load the entire description into an LLM? I couldn't because the context window was lower than the entirety of the plot descriptions. So instead I said like I still use the Viviet. In case I use Viviet as the vector database, I retrieve instead of 100 or like 10, I retrieve 300, and then I use those 300 to and re-rank them. So the limitations are so basically what happens is that it really depends on the quality of the. So basically it depends on how the VLM outputs the results, and I have no control. Like I have control on that, but like, and it is subjective. So, for instance, this plot, someone can call it like a B swarm, someone can call it a scatter plot. So there is no way to like hard code it. And for a fact, I knew that like it doesn't retrieve what it should retrieve. So. And like to know that it's a bit challenging. And then evaluation is hard because inherently it's a subjective problem. Improvement. So better prompt, of course, better vision language model. I want to improve the tool calling logic and better query writing. I didn't mention that. And in the end, I can combine all the three modes and like aggregate them using a different LLM and then retrieve a list of charts. Takeaway. So for me, like the takeaway is that stop using your head as like a place to store all the information. You can use RAGs for that. But in my case, the problem is a bit deeper. So I think RAG is not my solution. I think I need to go see a therapist to deal with my perfectionism. And yeah, I'm working on an AI system to help me find a good therapist. What is next? So this is how I started. So I was spending 85% of my time on saving them to Notion. Then that's what I expected. I wanted to spend 85% time on basically creating visualizations. But how is it going is that I am spending 85% time on improving my rack system. So probably I will take a break and like just create visualizations. And thank you. That was it.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's do a couple of questions. Does anybody have a question? Someone over here?
So, is it on? Yeah. For the, oh, thanks by the way for the talk. It's really funny and really great content. Have you considered maybe spending time on writing agents that can write a charts for you? To write an agent system with tool calling
to like search for
to implement grammar of graphics with agents basically.
Like to like use it to generate the code for me. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. Like I had some slides on like how I want to use AI in creative work. I think for me like a big part of my joy is to use ggplot2. I still use AI for that, but like I want to take control of. I want to have control over like that part. So, in short, like not really, but yeah, I think maybe at some point, like I spent time developing agents to create charts for me, 85% of my time. So yeah.
Someone over here.
Do you have any experience with graph databases? Have you tried something with it?
No, but that's the plan. I mean, I don't want to spend more time on it, to be honest. But I mean, like, yeah, if anyone is interested, like, to collaborate, yeah, of course, I'm like really, yeah. But no, I don't have any experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have a question?
Hi, Mohammed. Thank you for the talk. This is a small detail, but is it used in the entire, is it like a chatbot? Is it used in the entire conversation or just the last thing?
Because there is no history.
Exactly.
So
I tested it and I said, give me a Russian Soviet-style graph, and then I said, just give me a graph rather than like a...
Yeah, there is no history. Not yet.
One last question. Oh, someone on the left.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I really like everything about it.
Thank you.
Instead of using VLMs and so on, why don't you use just simple metadata of the graphs and then make normal search? It would make it more easier than what you do. Because I guess that getting information from graph, like using visual language models and so on, it is difficult because it will not understand the way you understand. And if you have the metadata of this, for instance, this graph has all this, you give all the attributes, yeah? Maybe you can have for every graph these attributes. It will be easier to search.
There is no like way to get that. Like you need to generate it somehow, or like by hand, or which takes a lot of time. But actually, the VLMs, at least in my experience, they did a really good job. But there is no metadata, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's it for questions. And well, thank you very much for your talk.
Thank you.
Give it up for.